one kind of support problem we normally get from the field techs is a situation like this, where the MWD port right here is getting data. As you can see data coming through the MWD port, but the EDR is missing data. So what we need to do is to troubleshoot the system and to find what's wrong. And a good starting point is to verify that the Gamma system is working properly, the ports are mapped, and that this EDR COM port is actually working. So how do you do that? This is how you can approach this problem. This is a typical setup in the field where you are setting up your Gamma system to receive data from the MWD port. You can see it right there, and your EDR port. And this is a situation where you're using your trip lights. You can see this is the EDR trip light COM port connected to the EDR cable, right, like so. And the MWD is right here. That's your trip light connected to your MWD cable. Now, to test the system, since we know that EDR is not working, what you do would you disconnect this 9-pin end right here. And then you leave this cable on the table. Don't touch that, just leave it on the side. And also your adapters are still connected, as you can see here. Now what I'll do next is to take my MWD cable and disconnect it from its COM port, like so. So now MWD is disconnected, and I'm feeding this data into EDR, like that. So what I'm doing, I'm just feeding data from MWD into EDR. This is the wrong port, but we're doing this just to test, to see if EDR will now get the data. So if you go to your screen, you will now find that the data which was showing up in the MWD window will be stationary. It won't be changing, but that data has now moved into the EDR port, like so. You can see that this data will change in a moment here, which means that we were able to feed the MWD data into the EDR port, and therefore the EDR port is actually working. And this really means that the problem is with the EDR provider. So at this point you need to call the EDR provider and see how that can be resolved. But if this data would not show after doing this test, then of course that's something that Mezintel can look at, and you can call us for further support to address this problem.